It's all about the riff. At least for me it is. I mean, geez, I named my fucking studio after it. And I know I'm not alone here. A sick riff is the foundation for most badass songs in heavy music. But it can be very difficult to sit down with the intent of writing one and actually succeeding. Everyone has their own way to go about this. One guitar player's process might be noodling around until they play something that they like. And another guitar player's process might be using music theory and math equations. I've said this many times, but there's no right or wrong. This is music. But if you're stuck writing riffs that sound similar to things that you wrote in the past, or you just can't seem to write anything that you like lately, there are strategies that you can use to shake things up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I can't physically count the amount of riffs that I've written in my lifetime. It's a lot. But I can give you a few of the strategies that I've used that's resulted in great riffs, which turned into great songs. So here they are. 5 riff writing tips that actually work. Welcome back to the Riff Haven Audio Podcast. I'm Dan Ferguson, engineer, producer, and owner of Riff Haven Audio here in Long Island, New York. Most of the time when I write riffs, I'll be jamming along to one of my favorite songs or rehearsing one of my own, and then the song ends and I'll just be messing around, trying things. And when I play something that sounds cool, I'll explore. More often than not, after an hour or two, I'll have the skeleton of a song. But it's not always like this. A few years ago, my drummer sent me an audio file with a text that said, "Hey, I was messing around on the drums, I played some grooves, see if you could do anything with this." Here's what it sounded like. And immediately, I heard what the guitar should be doing. So I wrote a new riff to lock in with his groove. Here's what that sounds like. Now that there was a groove with a riff to match, my producer brain kicked on. It never really turns off. I opened up a new session, I took the audio file that he sent me, I locked the drums to the grid, and I started cutting up the grooves into verses, choruses, and a breakdown. When I got to the part that I heard as the chorus, which sounded like this, I remembered that I recently had written a riff that would fit perfectly in that part. That sounded like this. Fast forward to its release, and we have this.
All the time, you told the way, how to feel, what to say, guilt to sin, but we broke the walls. You should know that you're never gonna limit this now. No one's gonna quit. Relentless chase for all that we want. The masses run with will of the heart. Don't come between our predators. It's prey.
The point of all this is that it's very easy to get stuck writing the same chord patterns and progressions if we always write riffs the same way. But if you shake things up every once in a while, it can make a huge difference. If you think about it in the big picture, human beings tend to make major breakthroughs in life when they're forced to get out of their comfort zone. It might be going on vacation, or training for a marathon, or taking up cooking. All these things form some sort of new pathways in your brain, which can have a big impact on your thinking and in turn open lots of doors in your writing. So let's talk about a few of these. Be sure to stick around for the last one because it's really important. Number 1, start with the drums. I just gave you an example from my band and I encourage you to try it in yours. And with technology today, you don't even need a drummer to do this. No offense, drummers. There's groove packs that you could buy online that could serve as a basis for your writing. Or you can create your own grooves in your DAW, which is really easy. For example, I use Logic, and they have a drummer plugin, which essentially allows you to hit a button and then a groove just appears. And you can just move this little dot around until you get the groove that you're looking for. It's this easy. I've written a lot of songs like this. It could be a huge help when you're looking to shake things up. So next time you get stuck, try starting with the drums. Number 2, jam it out. Some bands exclusively write this way. They'll get together at a rehearsal space, one band member comes up with an idea, and the rest play along. Then you just keep stacking ideas until you have a song. I fully recognize that not everybody's brain operates this way. For my band, there's been a handful of times where we've been in the rehearsal space and a song just spontaneously happens. But this isn't the go-to for how my brain works. Once I hear a riff or a groove that I like, something clicks, and I tend to hear the whole song. Then it's just a matter of getting the ideas into the computer and tweaking things until we got something. Suppose that's why I produce music. But there's also been plenty of times where I've been stuck on a riff or an idea. When you're in that spot, get together with your band and jam it out. It's a great way to unlock new pathways for your music. Pro tip, always record your rehearsals. Either stick your phone in the middle of the room or have your instruments always mic'd up. Just make sure you're capturing everything that's going on. Don't assume that if magic happens, you're going to remember it, because you might not. More on that later. Number 3, try different tuning. If you play exclusively in drop C, there's going to come a point where it gets difficult to come up with new ideas that are fresh. We tend to fall back on things that we've done in the past. This is very subconscious. Your fingers just want to go from 3 to 5 to 1 or whatever. Try playing in a different tuning, or even a different guitar. I played guitar for 25 years before I picked up a 7-string for the first time. As soon as I plugged it in and started playing, it was like unlocking a new map on a video game. There was so much to explore. I was writing so many riffs it was hard to keep up. Now, some people don't want to experiment with new tunings because it's a pain in the ass to bring multiple guitars to a gig. That doesn't make any sense to me. Do what you can to write the best music possible. Then do what you can to deliver that great music when you're playing live in front of an audience. Number 4, audio and video. I won't forget this. Famous last words. You may write a riff and be jamming on it for weeks consistently until you record it. But chances are it's going to be shelved for a bit. And when it comes time to run through pre-production, you're going to have to try to remember how you played it. If you're using a DAW to record your riffs, that's great. But also take video of yourself playing, so you know how you played it. Remember, if you like the thing that you played enough to put it in the computer, that means it's important. And in turn, every nuance to the way that you played it is also important. If you try to remember how you played that riff just by listening back and getting the gist of it, you may forget about that subtle little hammer-on you did, or that you slightly slid the tail of that chord down before you hit the open palm mute. All of these little details is where the magic is. If you have video to refer to, you have a much better chance of recreating that riff that you wrote when it comes time to actually record the song. Number 5, don't stop for anything. This is so important. If you're feeling inspired, don't just lay down your riff and then close the session. Ask yourself what comes next. Does it need a lead over the top? Can I make it better? Is this a verse, chorus, or pre-chorus? If you ask yourself, what's the next chord that should happen after this riff ends? You may start writing that next riff on the spot. If your music is important to you, you owe it to yourself to ride that creative wave until it runs out. If you have plans later in the day that aren't of the utmost importance, go late, stay and keep writing. I've been late to lots of things because I had an hour or two to kill before I had to leave, sat down, started playing guitar, and got inspired. Because I'm fully aware that those moments don't always happen. So when they do, you have to stay committed. Even breaks for food, water, and bathroom get delayed as long as possible. I'm sitting in that chair until I've taken it as far as it can go. So let's recap. Number 1, shake things up and try starting with the drums. You may be surprised by the results you get. Number 2, jam it out with your band at your next rehearsal. Have someone play something, everybody else get on the same page, and see what you come up with. Just make sure you record it. Number 3, try a different tuning, or a 7, even an 8-string guitar, and explore the new landscape that's in front of you. Number 4, always take video of the riffs that you write. The devil's in the details. Make sure they're documented. And number 5, don't stop until you've fully ridden the wave. If you cut your session short, you may be missing out on a potentially great song. Try these out. You may end up writing some new songs, or at the very least, some new great riffs to add to your library. If you have a collection of songs or riffs that you're ready to record, you can go to riffhavenaudio.com. There you can check out some of the songs that I've worked on. If you like them, hit the Get Started button, answer a couple of questions, and I'll hit you up to talk about your project. That's all I got for you guys this week. Long live the riff. See you next time.